Ready to go? Hello, everybody. Hope you can all hear us fine. My name's Mohsin. I'm a denim designer, and I'm joined by three quite important and amazing people. We got Besim from Bossa, which is with us here. We got Denis from Marmara Hemp as well, and we've got Denis from Bananatex. So very thank you guys for coming, and thank you guys for coming right at the end of quite an amazing 2 days that we've had here at Future Fabrics Expo. We're here to talk about future fibres, and obviously gearing more towards hemp and also other sort of innovations in bast fibre, including Bananatex. But hemp itself has had such an interesting history, as well as some of these other fibres that have been forgotten for many years. But these earlier fibres we've been using much more than our more contemporary fibres than cotton, which is quite sort of interesting. And it's more interesting now because we are starting to revisit some of these older types of fibres, and it's very interesting because we found out so much about all of the negative press that all these natural fibres are getting. So actually, it's very exciting to have these guys with me here to hopefully demyth and help us through the exercise of understanding some of the negativity and some of the positive things about some of these newer and older fibres. Of course, we all love cotton here, but there's so much more excitement and energy in these newer, older strains as well, which is quite exciting. So I'm just going to go straight with my very first question. I'm going to go straight over to you, Denis. How different is Marmara hemp compared to the other types of hemp? Because hemp's grown all over. So your one in particular is in France, correct? So how different is yours compared to the other types of hemp that we find in China and other parts of the world?
So basically, we can grow hemp anywhere in the world. The thing is that depending on where you put, where you consider the fiber to be sustainable. So if we want the fiber to be very sustainable, then you should consider to grow in a place where you don't need irrigation to grow, and where you don't need water to do the retting. That's the first two things. The second thing, so this is for the growing part. This is what we call the cotonization. So to make the fiber as the same specs as cotton. So our fiber is only mechanically treated. So meaning we don't use any chemical product. We don't use any bleaching. Hemp is a very coarse fiber.
Yeah.
So if you want to spin fine counts, you have to go through a chemical process. The hemp which we are doing, which we are promoting, is the Marmara hemp, the original quality, is basically only mechanically treated. So it has limitations in terms of spinnability and percentage of hemp in the yarn, but this is extremely sustainable. So again, I'm not telling that there is good hemp and bad hemp. I'm just telling that there is hemp which is very sustainable and some hemp which is
so just
not
a follow-up,
so sustainable.
Follow-up question. Obviously, in the natural world, when they used to do hemp 10,000 years ago, they used to cut it, they used to leave it. The rain would obviously make it easier to extract the fiber. That might take weeks or months, I imagine.
Weeks,
right? So it's done quite quickly. So obviously now we've got a process of doing it mechanically and chemically, and the chemical one's got a slight bad rap, right? Because some people aren't being that transparent about what they're doing.
Again, it's when the bleach one is done today in China.
Right.
To know exactly the way it is bleached, the chemical which are being used, they are not so transparent at all.
Yeah.
Still they are using chemicals, but when just when you see the fiber itself after bleaching, and when you see how fine it's getting, obviously that's a lot of chemical have been used.
Yeah.
Hemp fiber is a coarse fiber.
Okay.
So my opinion is that we should take the fiber as it is, and we should respect the fiber. Hemp was used, for centuries, and it was used for coarse yarns. It has never been used for very, very fine counts.
Right.
So and this is the way we are using it, and the way the denim industry is actually using it today. Using it up to 30%, and the good thing and the real advantage of denim for the hemp fiber, denim is using coarse yarn.
Yes.
So this is the yarn which is basically made for hemp.
Okay, so moving over to you, sort of, Hannes. Obviously, your Bananatex fiber. Obviously, you guys are a company that not only produce the fiber, you also make fabrics as well, right? So you cover the whole, okay, I guess vertical process, right? Am I correct? In saying?
Yes. Well, it's even one step further. We are an accessory brand.
Okay.
And we started this development because we were looking for better materials and alternatives for our own products. And we had quite a journey from our start in 2008, which started with cotton, obviously being the available material in the market. We also set up a supply chain with hemp in Europe, which eventually we couldn't sustain on a level that we needed, and so we never released the products.
So your fiber, how long? Obviously, for history's sake, we've been using hemp the longest. Cotton's soon after that.
Yes.
What's the history with banana fiber itself?
Okay, so there are about 40 kinds of bananas in the world.
14 or
yes.
40? Okay.
About one or two of them we know and we buy in the supermarket. The fiber we work with is called Musa textilis, and it has a history of several hundred years, especially in Southeast Asia, on the Philippines, where the fiber has been used for shipping ropes and for very sturdy applications because it's a coarse fiber, just like hemp. And it is actually, it's not really a forgotten fiber because it has been used throughout all those years for that reason, and also for paper making. So a lot of specialty papers are made from that banana fiber. A majority of all tea bags have been made from that banana fiber because it's resilient and doesn't tear even when it's wet.
Only quite recently we're seeing it more in garment like development, right? Because I've known about it for a while, but I've never personally used banana fiber. I'd love to use it one day soon. Are there fibers that are good friends with it? Is it like a tensile lyocell or something more? Obviously, you don't want to mix like polyester with it, but is it 100%?
Yes, so all we do here and show is 100% banana fiber. And we actually wanted to find a way to make a very fine yarn that still has the properties of the banana fiber, and we went through a pulping and a paper making process. So it's not a viscose process, as you still have the fibers in the yarn. We just cook pulp and we make paper, we slit it, twist it, and then we weave it or knit it into a fabric.
Amazing. All right, next question, guys. Obviously, what's so important for these types of both these fibers right now, especially for our environmental impact? And there must be so many great benefits for brands to even slightly switch over or start using both of your fibers. So Denis first.
Well, we could have a long discussion about this. If we focus on the main advantages of hemp, the first thing, this is one of the best carbon fixer.
Yeah.
So basically, 1 hectare of hemp is absorbing as much CO2 as 1 hectare of forest after 15 years.
Right.
Except that the hemp is fixing it from the very first year. This is the first thing. The second thing, hemp doesn't use any pesticides, any herbicides, no chemical product at all during the growing, during the farming. And then this is an excellent crop rotation. So you can grow hemp only every 7 years on the same land. So if you grow in 2020, the next time you can grow on the same land is 2027. And the next harvest, you will be getting between 8 to 10% more wheat. For example, if you grow wheat after hemp, you will be getting, about 10% more quantity.
So just going on that question, obviously you said that every 7 years or so you can't use the same land, you have to do other plants to replenish the soil's health, I imagine.
So this is for the crop rotation?
Crop rotation.
Yes.
So in the cotton world, quickly jumping over to you, sort of, Besim, in the cotton world, do you have to do the same rotation with cotton? You can't just use the same land every year?
Actually, it's a must to do it in the cotton world as well. We cannot use the same field for the cotton every time. And there is a law in Turkey for that one as well. For example, if you plant cotton for 3 times, the government will not subsidize your crops.
Okay.
So within 3 years, you should change it. For example, corn, soybean, or something like that. In order to get the subsidy from the government. And believe me, all the farmers love to get the subsidies from the government.
Yeah.
So for sure they're gonna change it.
Okay, I'm going to come back to you, Hannes. I know we need to ask that question about the like sort of like impact environmental. But quick thing. Obviously, hemp takes what 4 to 5 months, or is that 4 months the whole growing stage up until harvest, right? Something
So
like
it grows from April to September.
that. Okay, and cotton, it's about 9 months or so, right?
No, 150 days.
150. Okay. Okay. In months terms, just so our friends can do the. It's like double the amount of time as hemp? Something
Yes.
like that? Okay.
Yes.
And for a banana, I guess it's a tree. You harvest. Do you harvest the leaves, or is it the stalk? Where do you actually get the fiber
We harvest the side stalks. The plant itself grows for up to 40 years.
from? Okay.
And the side stalks usually grow for 18 months. They make some bananas and then the stalk dies. And this is when we chop it off and peel the fiber out of it.
Nice.
So we do not really interfere with the plant itself.
Unlike these guys who are chopping down, basically to the ground nearly, you can just carry on keeping the plant going and feeding it, and yeah.
Exactly.
and
It's a
harvesting it.
permaculture system where
Nice.
it grows and where it's cultivated.
Regarding sorry to cut you off, regarding the environmental impact of a banana, obviously you just said it's a plant it's a tree or plant, so any other environmental impacts that are quite good? But
Yeah, it has very strong roots, so it's used to reforest areas on the Philippines that have been rainforest, because about 80% have been destroyed there, and it enhances biodiversity because it only grows together with bigger plants that give shade, together
Yeah.
with other crops, and therefore it is a system that makes a lot of sense to work with and to grow actually.
Amazing. Okay, for next question, this is about traceability. I'm going to start with a Besim first. Obviously, with cotton, it's had a slightly bad rap in recent years. It's
Yes.
you know, with lots of different standards we heard about in the other talk as well. So in traceability terms, obviously, what Bossa are doing, what sort of traceability are you guys doing as a company to ensure that customers know exactly where the fiber is coming from?
Actually, we are a part of several solutions in that question. For example, what we are doing for the organic farming, we do have a wonderful traceability solution. What is that? For example, for the last 10 years, we know all of our farmers because we do have a contract basis organic cotton. So we know our farmers. We know when do they plant it, when do they harvest it. So we know all the details. So we put them all in a QR code. For example, it starts with the farmer name, then it goes with the land area, then it goes with the ginning time, ginning place, then the fabric produces of course Bossa. So it's something like a paper-based traceability for the organic cotton.
Kind of like a blockchain. It's all
No, actually,
online as well.
not in the blockchain about this project.
Okay.
Then what we are doing with some other projects, we are working as a technology solution partner. There are some companies who are putting some kind of a mineral in the fiber. We are
Right.
using that fiber. For example, we are buying one of the cottons from Australia, and with a camera you can detect whether this is cotton from the good earth cotton Australia or not.
Like a fiber trace.
Yes, fiber
scenario.
trace.
Okay.
Fiber. And what else we are doing? We are using other technologies just like the Helixa, the applied DNA technology. And the latest thing that we are going to do is we are going to be the first company in the BCI traceability. Maybe you have heard that the BCI is going to changing their system in sooner or later with 2024. They will have the mass balance system, and at the same time they are going to have a traceability system. With that system, we will be the first company in the world who's using traceable BCI is a pilot project. Most probably, we are going to have that goes in the October or November.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, and Denis, obviously the whole hemp is like relatively new. Obviously, we've been using cotonized hemp since the 80s, but now it's come into its own. It's got legalized in Pakistan only in 2020. It is exploding, which is great news for you. I'm sure you get lots of people knocking on your door trying to buy your like, bales of fiber hemp. But how traceable is it? Obviously, these are questions that a lot of brands, even I had a friend of mine WhatsApp me even today about it, going, how traceable is Marmara hemp? And I mean, actually, it's one. Could you explain?
Yes, well, the first problem was to explain to the brands the different kind of hemp, as we discussed before. Now, we've done this work and we continue doing it. And then, to make sure that our fiber is used and the brand don't get cheated,
Yeah.
we actually do two kinds of traceability. We have the first one, which is the document traceability, which is considered as not enough by some of the brands. Even though we are trying to to go very very deep in the in the documents traceability, we are now doing marking. So we use two kind, depending on the customers. We are using two kind of tracers. So we are using fiber trace, which we are adding in our plant, some viscose fiber, blending the fiber, which is being found till the garment, and then we are doing DNA marking at our plant, which is done by Elixa.
So just so our friends here, if they know, so this is basically at the garment stage, you can check it, and even if you burn the garment and it's ash, you can still find out where it came from, right? That's what they claim.
Well, basically after washing.
After washing.
After washing.
After washing is okay, but not after burn.
Fiber trace say they could claim open it in like the ash of the garment. I was like, really?
I think it's a bit too late when you know.
I think that's what they claim. Anyway, that's what.
Knowing it before, no?
And sort of like, obviously regarding Bananatex, what traceability? Obviously your fiber. Obviously, you're vertical, so you can show the process anywhere. You're not buying anywhere else. So, if you can help our friends here.
Well, the process is the fiber is harvested on a regular basis. It's stripped in the woods. It's dried there, and then local farmers would collect and bring it to the village collector, so to speak, and he brings it to the pulp mill, which is also in the Philippines. And when we started this, we did not have the possibility to trace it back to the farmer because we only knew which pulp mill made the pulp. We knew the area, but we didn't know the farmers. So that was kind of a black spot in our supply chain, because from the pulp onwards we knew everything because we were involved in the paper making, in the yarn making, and so on. And recently we started these reforestation programs together with a partner on the Philippines, and for the future we will know which farmers in which areas will actually be involved in that.
Super, that's great. That's great news. Denis, question for you. Obviously, your hemp has been certified like cradle to cradle platinum, like sort of level. How many years did that take you to achieve, or is it something that you were aiming for? How did that? How did the process?
We started in 2000. But in 2000, the market was not really ready because the market was not demanding, and I would say the border between recreative hemp and textile hemp was not so clear. The demand really started 3 years back, and then we understood that we had to give because in the hemp fibers there was no certifications. There was and the textile was asking for certifications. So we started doing the sustainability certification. Everybody has his own understanding of sustainability, and everybody pretends to be sustainable, but there is no standards. There is no norms.
No big body or no big standard.
There's no big body. So we decided to. So because we were asked by Levi's to give this sustainability certification. So we told them, listen, if you want to get this sustainability certificate, let's build together the standards, the norms. So we built it together with them, and then we got it certified by a third party organization, and then we did the cradle to cradle because some people were asking for organic hemp. We don't have organic hemp, or very less, and it's impossible to do it in a big scale.
So organic. I thought hemp was organic. There's no chemicals.
It's the only difference is that hemp doesn't grow on organic land, certified land, because we have to move from from 1 year to another. We have to move, so we need a very big surface
plot.
Plots to grow hemp. So basically, all the growing, is done the same as organic farming. Okay,
right.
And what we did was the cradle to cradle certificate. So what it certifies, we tested the fiber itself to see if we could find any trace of 250 different chemical products, which are in the soil, which you could find in the soil, and none of those could be found in the fiber.
Right.
So basically, we were running for the gold certificate, and we were granted the platinum certificate, which is the highest level.
Many congratulations. That's quite amazing.
Thank you. And so this is not organic, but this is very, very similar, and the cradle to cradle certification gives us basically.
I think the whole organic, even our Besim here will explain, organic cotton is we heard even about half an hour ago, is only 1% is really organic. So I guess it's the same sort of thing here. Is organic really the thing that we should be aiming for? It should be more about how.
Less than 1% of the all cotton produced in the world is organic cotton.
Yes.
So
But hemp will be even less than that if once.
actually, hemp is even less than that. Therefore, I think that the future of the world cannot be organic cotton. Organic cotton, for sure, we are going to have some. For sure, a small brand or a medium-sized brand is going to enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be the solution for the big brands.
Likes of Primark or Jack Jones or these guys.
Yeah, or the Inditex or the Levi's. They're so big to convert all of their production to organic. Therefore, I think that for the future, what's going to be happening? For sure, the recycling is going to be the industry standard. Recycling is going to be the industry standard for all brands within 2025, minimum 20%. That's gonna be a must, and the European community gets some laws about that. They call the EPR, Extended Producer Responsibility. Within 2025, it's gonna be a must to use minimum 20 or some countries as 25% recycled content in the goods that we are gonna selling to the European community, unless they are gonna be asking us additional taxes. So
They might give you some subsidies for using more recycled, I imagine.
no, actually, they are going to punish you. They are going to ask some additional taxes. So it's going to be industry standard.
Right.
That is the first issue. About the cotton, what I believe that traceable BCI is going to be the solution because it's scalable. About 1/3 of the all cotton produced in the world is going to be a traceable BCI. So it's going to be a bigger volume because we should have a scalable project. All the other projects are lovely projects. I talk to them, admire them, I like them a lot, but some of them are romantic.
Romantic, there we go, that's my favorite word. And staying on the whole recycled content mixing in, obviously we know that the future is like recycled fibres. Obviously, I've done a number of hemp collections in the last 3 or 4 years, and all of them have used recycled post-consumer waste and post-industrial waste. Obviously, I know. Okay, let's go straight over to you, Hannes. Obviously, in your Bananatex, are you playing around with doing like recycled fibers within your banana fiber or not yet?
Yes, so we are also in the concept of circularity, of course. We all need to get there, and whether it's a technical cycle where we close through recycling or a natural cycle where we bring material back to nature, I think both can be really beneficial. In our case, we have the biodegradability, which is one possibility, but we could also bring our bags or our fabrics back to the paper recycling cycle because it's made of paper, and this could be the base for new yarn. So either way, the second one we didn't reach yet because there are no products in the market yet that have gotten to the end of life cycle, but that's definitely our plan to pursue.
So a lot more R&D has to be done on your side, I imagine, to get all those things going soon. I guess if people jump onto your fiber and want to use it more, then they will be asking, or they will be trying to ask you to mix a tensile lyocell or non-cotton fabric, I imagine.
But well, we're trying to not blend.
You're trying to not blend
at all at the moment. All we develop is 100% banana fiber, and I think it's the base is nature offers so much, and I think we need to look at the details. What is the right property and the application for what fiber, just like you said before, and I think we can achieve a lot if we just go like that.
So a follow-up question about 100% hemp. I did a 100% hemp collection a few years ago. I know Levi's Red did a 40% blend in 1999 with their Red collection. In Bossa's point of view, have you developed 100% hemp fibers and spinning, or is it not that it's not possible? Is it to do with price? Is that why we haven't got there yet?
Actually, the price is not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is about the spinning.
Spinning, okay.
In order to produce 100% hemp, we should use the wet spinning process. And the wet spinning process, we don't have it in Turkey. We don't have it in Europe. I should buy the yarn from China. And
so just explaining to our friends here, there's cotonized hemp, which is the newer 80s version, which is mechanically done, so it looks like cotton. And then the wet spun is the older version, which we've been doing for millions of years, right? The old version. Is that correct?
Right.
Correct, right? Okay, and the wet spun, is it more coarser? It's more, this is what you find.
The wet spun is finer.
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 You can go finer, but you are using water, and you are using bleaching agent.
Okay.
You are using chemical. The cotonized hemp is purely, well, the one which we are doing is purely mechanically treatment.
Nice.
And then, so we bring to the same specs as cotton, which is about 35 millimeters. But since it is coarse, our spinner, our friends in spinning, they can only blend it up to 30%.
Maximum 30%, yes.
Right.
So the ones that I was using 20 years ago, the 40% blends, they were probably wet spun, I imagine, right? They
No,
weren't
actually,
cotonized.
no. I think that they should be the chemically treated ones.
Oh, okay. But now we're a bit more conscious of that. We're trying our hardest not to use many chemicals.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we
Mohsin.
can't get
Thanks.
to that 40 or 60% blend yet. But it's
Well,
just about engineering,
but
right?
We can, but by using, we also have one type,
Yeah.
which is the scout quality, which enables to spin finer count or with a higher percentage of hemp, or we use for knitting. But
Nice.
for weaving and for the denim, for the coarse count from NE8 to 14, basically up to 30%, they manage to do it,
Yeah.
in a good way, and have good results in spinning.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay. All of your industries, from cotton to hemp to Bananatex, you all support farmers in your own way. Besim, you actually are a farmer as well. So, so obviously these livelihoods are very, very important to all of you guys, and making sure that the message gets across. Is it about education, explaining people more about the processes of how these fibers are produced? Is it that, because many people don't understand, they just think it's easy to get to, and it's very hard. Farming is a difficult process for all of your industries, I imagine, right?
Yes.
Yes. And anything you want to add to that, or is this?
Actually, by the way, I'm a farmer as well. I'm a tangerine farmer. I got orange plantation and lemon plantation in Turkey. For example, we do have a lot of projects with the farmers. We got huge amount of the organic cotton projects. Also, we got a colored cotton project. The critical thing about the farming, about signing a contract with the farmer, you should be very open. For example, imagine that their normal yield is 100, and whenever they are going to produce organic cotton, they are going to get a yield for 80. So there is a 20% yield loss. You should compensate that loss, unless they are not going to sign a contract with you. That is the reality. For the organic cotton also, I am covering all their costs for the certification tests, unless I cannot convince any farmer, because the farmers are not romantic people. They are really businessmen, and they are making money once a year. And if they do not make that money that year, they are going to be hungry. So they cannot get risk. For example, at the same time, I sign a contract with the colored cotton. It is about 180 hectares, just near to Bossa factory in Adana. I signed a contract with them, and I said that I'm going to be compensating your loss because of the yield. So if you don't have such kind of a contract, it's almost impossible to convince a farmer to go to different kind of projects.
Okay, just quickly, Denis as well. Obviously, I know you buy you're partnered with loads of different farms as well, right? There's a few of them scattered around that you use, not just one. And so, is the hemp quite different in the different regions? You have to treat them. Is it different regions? Literally, the different kind of.
So it's different
soil?
regions. Basically, the fibers are quite similar.
Okay.
But we grow in 3 different regions first to secure, because you see, for example, in May in France we had a very, very dry month. We almost had no rain for 6 weeks. So the crop is going to be quite small this year. And farming, as you were telling, is really something tough. And I used to tell the brands that sustainability has a cost. Everybody wants to get eventually sustainable fabrics, but they don't want to pay more. So no, the sustainable fibers, and hemp fiber has a cost if you want to get it year after year, because you need to give a substantial, at least a minimum amount to the farmers, so they have interest in growing hemp. Otherwise, they would be growing, other, farming, crops.
Food or other things.
Food.
Yeah.
And so, hemp is good for them, because the next year they would be getting more crop, more wheat, for example.
Yeah.
But still, this crop has to be profitable. That's one thing. The second problem with natural fibers, the quality varies. It's not like synthetics. So, and from one year to another, we have, the quality goes up and down.
But you blend all these.
So, and that's why we are blending.
Yeah.
We are blending different years, and we are blending different regions. So we make sure that for the spinner, it gets always the same material. But this is our work, to make natural fiber as similar as possible to the man-made fibers.
And Hennes, obviously, for your Bananatex, obviously you work with farmers. Obviously, are they your own farms, or are they farmers that you contracted to do? Or is it how does it work with you?
Yeah, we try to work on contracts. The farmers should, in our opinion, own the land.
Yeah.
But it's not the farming that we would imagine. It's more like a piece of land where you cultivate different crops and different plants. And our people go there and harvest on a regular basis. They extract the fiber in the woods without machines, really. And what we do is we try to increase educational levels there and see if yields can go up through that measures, because that really makes a difference for those people. And the social aspect very often is not taken is not taken into account enough.
I think more
when it comes to
more videos, more education to show these processes, especially the hemping and the extraction and the transparency. Everyone wants to see every process now. They want to see, which is quite exciting for you guys to tell that story.
Yes, it is, and also the brands are asking. Also, we did the first LCA life cycle assessment on our fiber, because that in the coming years with the PEF. What we call the product environmental footprint. Every garment will have to have its own footprint.
Yeah.
So we did the LCA for our fiber. So so then the spinners can continue the LCA until the finished product.
Okay. So I'm a denim guy, as you can probably see. Besim, obviously these fibers that our two friends are talking about, how are they when it comes to dyeing with indigo? Do they absorb? Is it like a lyocell or a cotton that, how is it in the ratio? Is it more dips? Is it really difficult to get that shade of indigo that you like for your customers?
We had already tested the hemp.
Yeah.
There is no problem about that. I'm just wearing one.
Oh, nice.
So there is no problem about the hemp. We had already tried it, but we hadn't had a chance to try the banana fiber. Most probably, or hopefully, in the future, we are going to have a chance to test them. But it should be the same, since it's going to be the cellulosic fiber. It should be the dye and in the same method.
Okay.
But we hadn't tested yet.
Anything you want to add to that, Hennes, obviously from your experience with dyeing the fiber, dyeing in the rope dyeing? I don't know how you dye it particularly, but
we do yarn dyeing, and we try to use GOTS certified inks, and we tried different printing techniques. We very recently did a bacteria dyeing test with our fabric, and we're learning every day. But we're happy also to start a trial with indigo.
Yeah, amazing stuff. Okay, so hemp question again. We little bit explored that. So we know we can get hemp in like Europe. We know we find it a lot in Pakistan. It's grown pretty much anywhere now, really. Pretty much. That's why they call it a weed as well sometimes, because it can grow in any sort of like climate. What are the differences between, let's just say, a Pakistani grown hemp with a French one, or even an American one? Are there lots of characteristics or differences?
Well, first, there are many different kind of hemp. There is hemp which is grown for CBD. There's hemp which is grown for textile. There's hemp which is grown for for the cannabis. So the one which we are using is dedicated for textile, and then the main difference, as I was telling, is the way you grow it, with or without irrigation.
Yeah.
That's it.
Obviously, your plants are all rain-fed mostly.
Only not mostly.
Always, excuse me, always.
Only
and for you,
rain-fed.
banana, it's rain-fed as well. That's amazing, no? That really is the future. Obviously, cottons, you need to...
No. Impossible.
Impossible. Surely
Impossible.
You could have some
actually we can, but
region, maybe somewhere in the world.
Yeah, actually, some US cotton is rain-fed, but then the yield is so low.
Right.
For example, the yield is in Turkey is about 600 kilograms in the before the baling. If you rain-fed it, only rain-fed it, it's going to be lower, 250, 200. 1/3 of our yield.
Which would be good for the farmer.
Yeah, you cannot make any money.
Got you. And
But-
it's already
but-
hard anyway making money. Yes.
Sorry to jump in here. Maybe the whole structure needs to change, and a lower yield should still
Yeah.
be sufficient for the farmer, because alternatives should be maybe much more expensive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then it's not a matter of cost; it's a matter of value actually. And,
Okay.
and I think this is really the major change that we all need to see.
So onto our final, but absolutely right. The change needs to happen, and I think education is one of these things as well. Onto our final question, then we're going to have our Q&A. Question about cost now, guys. Obviously, right now, obviously, maybe this is a question for all of you guys, but Bossa might be able to help us a little bit better here. When it comes to cost factor, is that a major factor why we haven't been using hemp as much, or is it just now it's big relative? I know tensile lyocell is now pretty much the same price as cotton. So is it a
Even less.
future where more people use hemp, cheaper will be it, then it'll be a balancing act?
The price of the hemp today is about the same price of the cotton.
Oh.
Yeah, the pricing is the same. The biggest challenge in the hemp is about the efficiency during the spinning, efficiency during the weaving. The efficiencies are so low.
So there's lots of defects, lots of issues with the...
We should decrease the machine speeds, maybe half.
Yeah.
So we are going to lose a lot of efficiency during the spinning and during the weaving. So it's not about the hemp fibers price a bit more expensive than our 100% cotton prices. The reason is not because the hemp fiber is more expensive.
Okay.
It's the same price, but our efficiency is so low.
Got you. Anything you want to add to this, guys, about the
And
cost?
I want to say what I said before. Again, sustainability has a cost.
Yeah.
Yes, it's slightly more expensive, but again, we are talking about what, 50 cents, 70 cents per meter?
Yes, about 50 to 60 cents per meter.
So what is 50 cents?
I know.
So you need 2 meters to produce one pair of jeans. So we are talking about $1
$1 or
or €1, whatever,
Yeah.
for one pair of jeans. But in the meantime, again, hemp is not in competition with cotton. That's not the topic today, because again, we are producing a few tens of thousands of tons.
Yeah.
But it's an alternative. It's one of the solutions for a greener textile. It's one amongst many solutions.
And ending with you, Hennis, obviously regarding the price of Bananatex at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite high. There's a lot of manual labor involved, which is properly paid, and therefore Bananatex would be like maybe double the price of organic cotton.
Is it a question of speaking to speaking to spinners and other manufacturers and trying to level up, or trying to get to a stage where you can use more mechanical processes to extract it?
Yeah, the more mechanical you go, the bigger gets your environmental footprint.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we really want to explore that. I think it's really a matter of polyester should have a tax on
Polyester should have a tax,
virgin
yeah.
plastic, and then a backpack made of polyester is not 40 euros, but maybe 140 euros, because that is the actual cost that we all will pay, or our children, to get the microfibers out of the ocean again.
Yeah, no, I think
And if that's the case, then the real sustainable, responsible solutions will maybe be the cheapest.
Yeah. This has been awesome. Now let's go over to our friends here. Anyone's got a question for us? Please raise up your hand. We've got about 10 minutes or so left or so. Anyone want to ask a question to our panelists? Or even to me? Yes. We'll get a mic over to you now.
Hello, thank you so much. Hi.
Hi.
I'm new to understanding the denim side of this conversation, and I guess mainly this is a cotton question. Is there a conversation in your industry about GMO seeds and the pros and cons of those, like socially in the industry?
Besim?
Actually, I don't like GMO personally. Actually, there is a project in Turkey called the GMO Free Turkish Cotton. I am the one who started that project, and today is Turkish National Cotton Project. And if you visit PV France, you can see a big booth about that as well. So I don't like the GMO in any kind of the farming processes. But at the end of the day, today, more than 90% of the cotton produced in the world is GMO. There are several countries in the world who are forbidden to produce anything with the GMO. Turkey is one of them. For example, Greek is another sample of that, or Spain is another one of them. else than these countries, almost all cotton produced in the world, if they are not organic, they are GMO.
Just a quick thing. I'm friends with a denim historian called Michael Allen Harris. He's got an amazing book. And he did a kind of like a tree of all the different splicing they've done in cotton. It's crazy. It's interesting. But I had a pant from 1910, and it was like 50 strains down where that cotton was from for that pant. So it's amazing how much genetics has been done in cotton to increase the yield or whatever it's been. So yeah, it's interesting. But yeah. Next question.
One in hemp, just one
Oh,
thing.
go, yeah, please.
Quickly. There is no GMO in hemp because there is no money. It's a so small crop, so small harvest that hopefully till now no big company entered the GMO seeds in producing GMO seeds. So we're very happy with this.
That's great news. Any questions, guys? Please put up your hands and quickly get an answer.
Okay.
Anyone? Yes, madam. Oh, wait. Get the mic over to you. We can't hear you.
Hello, I'm just wondering whether you grow, if any hemp is grown in the UK at all, and is the climate, right for hemp growing?
You have so much rain here.
There's actually a lady over there who's got a booth, and she actually does grow hemp in the UK. It can be grown anywhere, to be honest. Whether or not it's big enough scale to the likes of a Levi's to buy into it is a whole other matter. But yeah, it can be grown anywhere.
And we are in discussion with them. They approached us, so we are exchanging, and we offered to share some knowledge and also to blend some of their fibers because their harvest is too small and their qualities cannot be used 100%. So we offered them to use some of their fibers, blended into our fibers, so we can produce Marmara hemp, UK hemp.
Thing is, hemp, and I know from experience of doing many collections of hemp, it's a really great partner in cotton and tencel and other fibers. It's actually beautiful. And any there's amazing mills here that are both got hemp as well. And if you look at it, it looks like fabrics from the 30s and 40s. It's quite astonishing. So for a denim designer like me, it's super exciting using more natural fibers and less polyester, no polyester actually. So it's exciting. Any further questions?
Okay.
No. Anyone? 2 minutes left. This has been awesome. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope everyone got to say something quite interesting about what you're doing. I think you're all doing super work, all of you three, and it's so exciting to see something in lost and natural fibers and revisiting, how it should have been done and how things have been done in the past. Quite a lot of it is learning from the past as well, which is quite exciting.
Okay.
And I would like to add, there are like a few more natural fibers that are being developed at the moment, and we have recently created an alliance called Fibril Alliance with together with Circular Systems and Pinatex, Ananas, Amam, and we want to support the growth of natural sourced fibers, and we want to invite everyone who is in that field to join in and grow together.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I do honestly believe that obviously this isn't a cotton versus debate, but producing jeans without cotton excite me the most at the moment as a denim designer. So it's very exciting, but I love cotton still. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Do come up and speak to any of our friends here if you want to have a word with them. That's all cool. I'm Mohsin, and these are our friends here, Besim, Denis, and Denis. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Very good.
Thank you, Mohsin. Very great.
Very good.